Well, I want us to go back to the issue you raised. You talked about people voting irrespective of ethnic affiliation or religious background, which is quite key in Edo State, knowing that Edo is one of the most diverse states in Nigeria with different ethnic groups in that particular state. What would you say accounted for that particular vote pattern, to the extent that irrespective of where some people, some candidates as well as some other politicians were from, people did not even let that influence their votes?
This is what can only, the only plausible explanation for what we have seen in Edo is that when you have development politics tied down to development agenda, then it also throws up issue-based politics. But when you have corruption agenda as part of politics, in which it's all about sharing, it's about looting, of course, everybody returns back to his enclave to say, no, you need to be with me so that I can have my own share. But development agenda means that who can add value, who can really develop. And I think what Comrade Adams Social Media has done in the last 4 years is to put development on the table. And for development, it's all inclusive. Everybody wants good road. Everybody wants good public schools, regardless of where you come from. Everybody wants good water. And that's why when I was reading the party chairman, my very good friend Dan Obi this morning, saying that the miserable performance of Chief Anini in his ward was an attempt to ridicule the leader. I thought he got the point wrong. I think what people of the Edo Senatorial District are saying is that we want good roads, we want good water, just as in other part of Edo, and once that has been delivered, they also prefer the candidate that is giving them that. So what I'm saying here is that I think we've seen that when we have all-inclusive politics based on development, all Nigerians are united, and I think what is good for Edo is possibly much more needed now for the nation as a whole. In this atomization in which we talk of the zones, of religious divide, at the end of the day, poverty is not divisible. There's no Christian water, there's no Muslim water, there's no Muslim road, there's no Christian road. Roads are good roads, whether they are good, we apply them. So I think the bottom line is that let's deepen development politics. And I think when you do that, people cannot think straight. And you can see the pedigree of Comrade Adams. He possibly is the minority of the minority in Edo politics, but you could see the Benin people in large number, to say we vote for him. The palace said as much, the chief said as much, to say, no, our son is whoever delivers.
Isn't that part of what we would also want to call godfatherism on the other side of the governor of Edo State? If we're saying that we have done away with godfatherism or godfather politics in Edo State, and now you're saying he got the support of maybe a palace A, palace B.
No, but it's all based on issues. I think there's a difference between godfatherism, which is based on ascription, and popular leaders, which is based on deliverance, which is based on performance. Here we are having return of popular politics. And let me tell you, what we are witnessing is nothing really new. Again, we should have memory. First Republic, Second Republic produced charismatic leaders in their own right. Zik, charismatic. Awolowo, charismatic. You can't say Awolowo was a godfather in the notorious sense of people who rig elections, who share public fund, but in the sense of delivering development, in which people can say, we're waste. In fact, possibly there are more waste than who are not even related to Awu at all. Not by bad, but based on performance. Then you have the late Aminu Kano, who was very charismatic. So it's the connection between the popular leader and the mass of people. It's completely different from leaders that cannot win the award. Where's the popularity? So what I'm saying here is that I think what we've witnessed there is an end to this notorious concept of individual who calls the shot without earning it, rather than, and we now have enthronement of leaders who are popular leadership based on service they delivered, and it cuts across all the divide.
Some
I mean,
questions.
I just listened to the last comment. I mean, if you also look at all the parties, effectively, I mean, every political party that matter, possibly minus PDP, actually rooted at the end of the day for Comrade Governor. And if you also see even the statement of President Goodluck, which I read this morning, and for me that should be commended, because President acted presidential, not partisan, and for me that's a mark of statesmanship. It's no more about partisan. And the words are very significant. He said this popular vote is a reflection of your focused, purposeful leadership. So it's about the service delivered. It's not about because...
Now we're talking about services. Sorry, but I wanted us to go back to those who lost their lives, the policemen as well, the INEC ad hoc staff on that boat mishap. This is the time for us to ask us some big questions this morning. You remember this huge sum of money we saw given to INEC, to the extent that some of them were used to buy boats in almost all the 36 states, even in places where they don't even have rivers. Shouldn't we be asking where the boats in Edo State, the life jackets? Because if they say the boat was a hired boat, INEC Edo State should be telling the nation where their boats are.
It's just the bane of public service in this country. We hardly have an eye on nation building, but a eye on personal indulgences, the whole culture of contract system, and then you don't look at the whole idea of service delivery, and now we're counting losses in this case. First, it's bad enough that we lost, election materials, in this mishap, but above all, it's worse that we also lost life, and I think, I expect Professor Joga to probe this, this development, and I think that we should have election in which we don't need to be counting losses of life. And don't also forget that talking about lives lost, you also remember that even before the election proper, we also lost lives in this election. And for me, we lost about 3 journalists, in the campaign trail of the Comrade Governor, and above all, my very good friend who also was brutally assassinated. That's Comrade Olaitan Henry. So I think the outcome of this election, to a large extent, should be a rude awakening to all of us. That never do we have electoral process in which, rather than go for the ball, we go for the legs. We go for lives. And I hope first we need to get to probe, and look at those who are behind these killings, as the case may be. But above all, I think prevention in the long run is better than doing posthumous analysis of what really happened. But the best thing would be the real memory of this electoral process would be that we should be able to count votes without necessarily, counting, dead bodies.